What's going on, everybody? For this video, I'm going to be taking a look at people doing ghost vacations. What does that even mean? I've never heard of a ghost vacation before, so I'm assuming that you are just taking photos somewhere to pretend that you're going on vacation. I don't know. I don't know what a ghost vacation is. I've never heard of that before. So with that being said, let's get this started.
During this pandemic, people have been shamed for not wearing masks, shamed for stockpiling toilet paper, shamed for price gouging, even shamed for not social distancing. But how about shamed for traveling?
You can go on vacation, just self-isolate for 2 weeks when you come back. Is that so hard? I don't know. Is that a hard thing to do? I'm a little confused here. If you leave the country, you come back, you self-isolate for 2 weeks, sure, go on about your business.
So there's this really interesting thing going on here with sort of the social status for folks who are able to travel and do travel, and then, of course, share some of those trips on social media.
It's been very interesting to see as travel picks back up during the pandemic that, yes, some people are happy to travel again, but a lot of them are facing backlash if they do go and post about it. So a lot of people are actually starting to travel in secret, not posting anything, going on these ghost trips just to travel.
I love it. Ghost trips. Okay, so and is part of this kind of like what you might call quarantine envy? Like, gosh, I'm stuck at home and I can't really go anywhere, but this person looks like they're having a great time somewhere.
I think that's a great way of looking at it. What I spoke to the author of Shame and Guilt about what shaming actually does in trying to convince someone to change their behavior. And she said that actually it's probably not going to do what you want it to, and that you're actually going to make them double down on their behavior, get defensive or angry. So even though you think you're trying to do something very helpful, encourage people to stay home to stop the spread of coronavirus, you might actually just make them keep going, and then your envy will rise and problems might go down. So shaming's not really working.
Wait a minute. That means you're just going on vacation in secret and just not posting about it. What's the problem? Do you need to post your life on social media? You don't have to, so what's the big deal? Am I missing something here?
There are cases if you're very high profile, like a Kylie Jenner, you might get headlines written about you that you're out traveling and people are angry about it. But if you're a civilian, you're probably just getting people sending you direct message on social media or texting you or emailing you saying, I don't agree with your behavior.
Last time I checked, Kylie Jenner is a civilian. Yeah, she might be a celebrity, but she's still a civilian. Is she in the public sector? Is she in the military? Like, what do you mean if she's a civilian? If you go off and go on vacation, you want to post about it, okay, you post about it. Trips are dirt cheap. You come back and you self-isolate for 2 weeks, okay, you do that. I don't really care in that sense. If you don't self-isolate, you might have been exposed and you're walking around possibly spreading it to other people, then that's a different story. If you're taking precautions and you are also doing the necessary things that you need to do when you come back home, all right, whatever. I don't really care too much. For other people that need to post online about where they're going, does it really matter that much? I guess if you are an influencer and your posts do make you money, okay, sure. But then at the same time, all you got to do is be safe about it. And I guess on the flip side, it is kind of rubbing it into some people's faces who can't go on vacation and want to. But hey, at the end of the day, just have some common sense about it.
Yeah, or why are you there? Or, isn't there a travel restriction where you are? Or, you didn't look like you were physical distancing in that canoe or whatever the case may be. Is this flights, or could this even be, weekend getaways, Natalie, to the cottage?
It is a combination of both. I spoke with one person who has been traveling throughout the pandemic, and he said that even with his road trips, he was getting backlash. Both of that was because you're leaving your house at all. People expressed anger to him because they can't take their daughter to swim practice, but he's going to go drive to a resort. It just didn't seem fair to them. And in other cases, a person flew to Disneyland and they got a lot of backlash for that because they're getting on a plane, flying to a high-risk area, and people just don't see these sorts of trips as essential travel when we're supposed to be staying home. So clashes ensue.
Yeah, I'm going to give you an example. I got a friend of mine who has a boat. It's not his own boat; he rents it. But he said to me, shut it down. I'm not posting any photos of me on the boat this summer. I'm not doing any of that because I just don't want it. So it's like this idea of there will be no videos, nothing. I'm still going to go on the boat, but I just don't want the possible backlash. And I thought, well, gosh, you're renting a boat. I mean, it's the summer. Don't you deserve that? And he said, no, I just don't want to put myself in the line of fire.
Then don't post about it. No one's forcing you to post. What the hell is wrong with people? Don't post your shit.
He is like many people right now, because as the story came out, I already had examples of people who were traveling in secret, but more people came to me and were like, this is exactly why. I don't want to be shamed for my behavior. And especially people who think they're doing it right during the pandemic. They think I'm social distancing, I'm wearing a mask, I'm not going crazy at a rave. They are still afraid of shame or facing shame if they take those trips. So I get it.
Hey, as a travel reporter, have you been sort of taking secret ghost trips?
I haven't. And in fact, I declined a ghost trip this weekend, even though I was like, I could really not post this, but I stayed home.
And how long do you think this whole travel shaming thing is going to last? Because, people are getting kind of cabin fever.
Right. I think that as long as we still have things like mask shaming, social distance shaming, as long as the pandemic is sort of still in full swing, we're going to have people having opinions. But travel shaming also isn't new. The definition of it has changed. So before this, travel shaming meant people would shame you because you hadn't been to enough places, or you kept going to Vegas instead of going to new spots. There was always travel shame out there. It has just shifted. And so now it's about you shouldn't be traveling at all. So we'll see what the future holds for the next travel shaming.
People have too much time on their hands. You don't have to post your life online if you don't want to. No one's forcing you to. You're on a boat, you're at the beach. You don't have to post it. If you're an influencer and you need the money because you've been blowing it on ridiculous things, well, that's on you. If you're being safe, you're taking as many precautions as you can. Am I going to be like, oh, why did you go to here? I get it if you are going into the lion's den of COVID cases. I think she said that someone went to Disneyland, so I'm assuming they went to Florida. You go into Florida, you're going to a hot spot at the time. Okay, yeah, that makes a little sense of people saying like, wait, why are you going to Florida? You're literally going into the fire when it comes to COVID. But if you're going to places that there's not a lot of high cases, and I know the fear of people being in the airport, hey, if that's a risk you want to take, you just better take every single precaution when you leave, when you go there, when you come back. You guys self-isolate for 2 weeks, have no symptoms, you test negative. All right, moving on. What do you think? Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so already, hit a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Until next time.